Hello everyone, this is Mr. Mathis on 5.4 logical operators on Codehs Python. So let's take a look at what they want us to do. So they want us to run a program based on your role at the school, okay? Whether you're administrator, teacher, or student, can you get a key or can you not get a key? Okay, so are you administrator, teacher, or student? Teachers and administrators can get keys, but students cannot get keys. Um, And if you write something else, this will be the output. Okay. So it looks like there's three different options. When you hear three different options, what are you thinking? Hopefully you're thinking if, elif, else statements. So let's before we get started, let's kind of code. Let's put a comment on what we're doing. I took the liberty of writing this out before the video just to kind of save some time. All right, and let's get started. So let's work on the input first. Let's work on the input, then we'll work on the output. For some reason I'm having trouble typing here. Okay, so this is the input we want. This exact, are you an administrator, teacher, or student? Okay, so that's what we want. Let's put this inside of a variable role. Okay, so now let's work on the outputs. As it looks like we have three different options. We have administrators and teachers get the keys, students do not get the keys, and you could only be an administrator, teacher, or student. So hopefully we're thinking of elif statements, okay? So if role equals administrator, okay? Or, so this is a logical operator, or. Just remember, if you can't remember, use the documentation. The documentation is your friend. Remember, like you can't remember a logical operator, this was a nice reminder. And, or, okay? Or you're trying to remember how to do the if-else statements. Like this is what we're doing here. So please make sure you're using that documentation. It's your best friend. Okay, okay, so role teacher. All right, so if either one is the case, what do we want to print? What do we want to print? Administrators and teachers get keys. All right, good. Now let's talk about the next option. Okay, students. If role is equal to student, student, okay, what do we want to happen? What does Codehs want? Print, and students do not get keys. Okay, and now we have, I should have been elif. Okay, remember, if you can't remember, make sure you're checking that documentation, just like that, elif, okay? All right, and lastly, else. Anything else, what do we want it to say? You can only be an administrator, teacher, or student. All right, so let's see. Test case, let's check the code. All right, good, good, good. So let's see if we can just run this real quick just to give it an idea what this looks like. Let's give it a second. Okay. Okay, are you a teacher, administrator, student, teacher? Good. Let's try again. Uh, let's say secretary as they use in the example in the good. Okay. Administrator. Good. All right. So you get the idea. Okay. So let's look at this next exercise, presidential eligibility. So the program wants us to write whether or not someone is eligible to run for president in the US. Okay, so we have to ask for their age, their citizenship, and how long they've been a resident. Then we have to write an if-else statement basically telling them if they're eligible to run for president or not. Remember, they have to have these following credentials. Okay, and this is what the program should look like. So let's work on the, well, before we start, let's I prepared some comments just to save time for this video. Okay, so let's get started on the inputs. So we need 3 inputs. Okay. Um, okay, so the first input we have is age, right? Good. Next input we have is born in the US, yes or no. Okay, and then the last input we have is years of residency, right? Yeah, years of residency. All right, good, years of residency. All right, so we have age. Let's assign these all to variables. I'm gonna put born. I can't think of anything better right now. We put resident. Okay, good. So now we have these 3 inputs. So let's work on what the output would be. So as we're looking for an if-else statement, right? And we either want to say you're not eligible to run for president or you are eligible to run for president. So we're looking, remember, to be eligible, you need all 3. So we're looking for logical operators, right? So remember logical operators. If you can't remember, control structures. Okay, so we're using the and. Okay, so let's do it. So let's try it here. So if age is greater than or equal to 35 and born equals yes and resident equals is greater than or equals to 14, what does it print? Okay, so before we get to whatever it prints, this has to be an integer, right? Because anytime you have a logical operator, mathematical operations, you have to make sure it's an integer. Let's make sure we wrap this whole input around int. Okay, and as a resident, we want a number. So we're going to wrap that around int. Okay, good. So if you meet all those qualifications, you are eligible to run for president. If not, if one of those conditions is not met, right, we want to let the user know you are not eligible to run for president. Okay, so let's see, how did we do? All right, good. So let's see, just to give an idea of what it looks like. All right, finally, okay, good, it came. Let's put 35, born in the US, yes, Years of residency, let's put 16. All right, you're eligible to run for president. Let's put something else. Let's put, I'm 21. Yes, I was born in the US, but I've only been living here 5 years. You're now eligible to run for president. All right, so, all right, good job. Let's move on to the next one.